This new to me. Where should I look? Because it's both. It's a combination of live as well as
Rituals.
virtual. Right? Where do I look? I'm sorry.
I think everyone.
Okay, anyway, you can see me. That's all right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Good morning. Selamat Hari Raya. First of all, thank you for coming and for participating wherever you are online to our presentation of 2022 Hasanah report. Just a brief recap, as mentioned just now, Yayasan was constituted in 2015 as a standalone foundation, following 9 years performing CSR function for its founder, Khazanah Nasional. Yayasan Hasanah, we aspire to be a significant role player to advancing Malaysia, thereby complementing our founder, Khazanah, with a very close view of fostering inclusive and equitable efforts across all layers of society. We also aim to facilitate and advocate conservation and preservation of our country's treasures, our natural treasures, our heritage, our art, our flora and fauna, as you saw in the video just now. Quite a lofty mission, one would say. But for this, we are very fortunate at Yayasan. We were very well endowed and funded at the very beginning, thereby giving us the capacity to chart a very robust and quite ambitious mission, I would say, as you can see from our accounts. As you know, and I think it's been 8 years now since the formation. Right? Thank God, we continue to evolve and progress, alhamdulillah. As you would have observed also, the extraordinary events over the past few years, like the exceptional flood-related disasters and devastations wreaked by COVID-19 pandemic in particular. All these have thrust Khazanah, Yayasan Hasanah, to, in fact, be increasingly visible in terms of our activity. Good visibility though, I must say, at the same time, increasing our activity as a convener, collaborator, and catalyst of community service. We are very pleased that we've been able to respond and to particularly to calls to contribute in that regard. So a snapshot of our activity you can see in our report, but for more detailed explanation, I would like to ask and call upon our CEO, Dr. Shahira, to provide the story, so to speak. So thank you again for your presence and participation. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Tan Sri Mana Yusof, for that wonderful open to a press conference. And now we invite Datuk Shahira to for a special presentation on the Hasanah Report 2022.
Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Makno Yusof, Chairman of Yayasan Hasanah, friends from the media, Hasanah Senior Management Team. Very good morning to everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And I hope it's not too late to wish, especially our media friends who are here and also those online. Thank you for joining. Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. So today we are actually launching and announcing our Hasanah Report 2022. But maybe before I get into the details, I wanted to do a special call out actually to our friends of the media. You know, the social sector is quite difficult for us to get your attention, but actually our entire existence and livelihood very much depends on the successful and happiness index of each one of us as individuals. So that's what we do every day in looking at the well-being of all of us and our societies. So I really want to say that the role of media in promoting social change is critical. So I'm very, very thankful for your support today. By raising awareness of social issues, amplifying the voices of marginalized communities, shaping public opinion, influencing policy decisions, you have the power to advance social change in the country. We are doing our work, but we need your help to communicate some of the challenges that we go through. So your work has the potential to make a significant impact as well, and I really appreciate and value your power and your presence today. So thank you so very much. As you have witnessed in the videos shown earlier, it is everyday stories like this that inspire us in Hasanah, and where we empower individuals at every layer of society, preserving our environment and our biodiversity, flora and fauna, and also celebrating our arts and cultural heritage. So as for this shared progress that I'll be sharing later, I wanted to start first by also thanking not just all of our media friends, but also our grant partners and our collaborators, because as a grant maker, we work with civil society organizations and social enterprises who are actually our champions. And we also would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Finance for their continuing support to societal impact and societal needs, where through a matching grant mechanism, Yayasan Hasanah and Ministry of Finance have been able to reach more people because of the matching grant, and also scale our impact, things that we cannot do on our own. So partnership and collaboration has been very meaningful to us. So the next thing that I wanted to share is our theme. So the theme for 2022 is Igniting Possibilities, atau dalam bahasa Malaysia, semarak potensi kita. Sebab bila kita tengok data, when we look at the data that we have, we realize that all of the work that we're doing are actually maximizing human potential or empowering or sparking or igniting something on the promise of the individual. So we see them thriving when they are given the opportunity. So it is really spotlighting the power of human potential and how tapping into it will unleash greater innovation. They find solutions for themselves. It sparks their human agency. It builds their resilience. And it also gives power and confidence to the people. So empowered individuals are at the heart of a progressive society, and Alhamdulillah, it is also at the heart of everything that we're doing here in Hasanah. So let me just get on to the big headline numbers. You know, I think we said that Yayasan Hasanah is one of the largest, if not the largest, national social institution in the country. As have been mentioned, we are 8 years, we are the foundation of Khazanah Nasional, and in 2022, Yayasan Hasanah supported 132 new projects in our 5 impact areas, which is education, community development, arts and cultural heritage, environment and knowledge. And we awarded grants to 111 civil society partner organizations and social enterprises, and managed and disbursed 222.3 million ringgit last year. Collectively, Hasanah has distributed about 1.4 billion ringgit since our inception in 2015. Cumulatively, we have impacted about 2.4 million people in Malaysia since our inception in 2015. So at Hasanah, we're anchored on the mission of advancing Malaysia one person at a time across all layers of society. You will see in our report that the work that we do not only impact school teachers, students in public schools, women, youth, people with disabilities, orang asli, dan sebagainya. So at every layers of society, there is an opportunity for assistance. In the education space, 2022 we assisted 1,032 schools in Malaysia and 357 education leaders and teachers, and awarded 121 scholarships and fellowships at primary, secondary, tertiary and professional levels. To the interest of the media, also in terms of our fellowship programs, we actually have the Wolfson Press Fellowship Program, where we send fellow journalists, I think to the University of Cambridge, to the Wolfson College for 3 months. So that's a specific program that we have for our media friends, and we also have quite a number others for academia, government sector dan juga arts and artists. So what I'll do in the next few minutes, if you could indulge me a little bit, is to just share some of these impact stories. So one of the things that we did under our education pillar was on learning loss or learning recovery, depending on how you want to look at it. If you remember, the school was shut down for almost 2.5 years, and many of our school kids yang supposed to go to standard 1, when they came back to school, they were standard 3, and really, 3R lah, 3, reading, writing and arithmetics, that was missing. So one of the projects that we did in collaboration with the Ministry of Education was working with UNIMAP and Western Solutions, who's one of our partners, develop an intervention program to enrich existing remedial program in schools. One such student, and this is basically all primary schools, all 74 primary schools in Perlis, impacting 2,300 students in Perlis. And you'll see here, I think this is Adik Umar Firas, who improved his reading so much that he represented his school in a statewide literacy and numeracy contest. So how we measure our success was basically daripada tahap lah. Jadi tahap 1, 2, 3, 4 dan 5 sampai tahap 6. So when they come in, they're probably tahap 1 dan 2. Then kita we see an improvement in their reading and literacy levels 1 or 2 steps up based on where they started. So we're very excited about, we're very touched lah actually with this program. Bukan nak kata excited ke apa, because when we go down and we see the impact that these students can actually do reading, it has been quite fulfilling. So that's one of our remedial and learning loss programs. There are many other projects that we do under education for school leadership, mental health dan juga scholarship. In community development, our work is really around empowering individuals through income, and we work on both urban and rural setup. Tapi banyak yang kita tengok cabaran di urban setup lah. So our program supported more than 6,500 people in community development for mental health, and we trained more than 3,700 individuals in improving their incomes. And develop 43 new community leaders. So when we go into a community, we it's not giving them the fish lah. This is the famous teaching them how to fish, so that we develop community leaders. Bila we leave the program, the individuals are empowered to self-organize and do more for themselves and the community. So some of some of the impact that we've seen is anywhere between 77% to 500% of income increase to many of these beneficiaries that we've supported. So ada yang masa mula start RM500, bila dah habis program dah dapat RM10,000 in terms of income. And one of the projects which is Dapur Digital, kita buat two things. Satu, kita perbesarkan dia punya kitchen supaya dia tak masak kat kitchen dia. Dia boleh pergi and do more and take bigger orders. And number two is to digitalize their marketing. So actually a lot of our micro entrepreneurs did better during the pandemic. Instead of virtual, instead of a real kedai dan gerai depan rumah, bila dia buka digital, dia punya market of course exploded. Then that's how they can get more income. So we teach them digital skills. So this is our poverty eradication and empowerment program. The next one, quickly on environment. I think in environment, as you saw, one of our flagship programs is tiger conservation. And we are also doing quite a lot of work on plastic, reduction of plastic use, dan juga demonstration of sustainable development of a state. And we've chosen to pilot our programs in the state of Perak because we feel that quite a lot of our natural resources are in the hands of the states, land and biodiversity. How can we support the state in thinking about alternative revenues for the state so that they don't need to depend on natural assets and resources and moving them to a new economic model. So we are working with multiple stakeholders including the Perak state government to demonstrate this lah. So kalau berjaya, negeri-negeri yang lain boleh replicate, insyaAllah. In our arts and public spaces, you saw the project we did in Sarawak. We've got a signature program called Arts for All Season. It's the single largest annual grant program for arts, heritage and culture. In 2022, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, we funded 107 shows and live performances around Malaysia, supporting the livelihoods of 3,332 local artists and performers. We also especially proud last year, that was a record year for the arts with 4.15 million in project grants that was awarded in collaboration with MOF. So this has allowed us to do more for the sector's economic viability. As you all know, arts and cultural heritage ni, itulah masalah dia. Dan how can we mainstream and make arts and cultural heritage economically viable for practitioners? So ArtPass is enabling that, insyaAllah. And then the next few slides, we're talking about collaboration and partnership. So I just wanted to quickly say that our achievement, we can only do so much under Hasanah. But when we partner with others, we can do so much more. So one of the example that you will see here is Yayasan Hasanah dan Yayasan TM ialah sekretariat kepada GLC Demi Rakyat dan Negara, which is called GDRN. This is a platform where we coordinate the CSR responses of GLCs. Kita started as coordination platform untuk humanitarian response masa banjir, masa pandemic. Kita banyak overlaps in support, banyak GLCs, and also GDRN is a coordination platform. But over the years, we realized that GLCs and GLICs are doing a lot in CSR. Ada education, memberi scholarship, cash aid, livelihood programs, banyak. Tapi kita tak ada platform yang menggabungkan data-data tersebut lah. So if I give you a specific example from 2020 to 2022, GDRN, which is a collective GLC dan GLC, cumulatively contributed over 200 million in aid, encompassing disaster relief, supplies for medical aid, and urgent necessities for communities affected in the Johor flood, in the Selangor flood, and also 2.5 tahun during the pandemic. The other final thing that I wanted to say, which was unique for 2022, was the launch of our Hasanah Social Enterprise Fund. So selain daripada memberi grant kepada NGO, we also believe that these NGOs and social enterprises need to be supported in terms of their organisational development, bukan saja programmatic impact. Kita selalu mengharapkan impact daripada NGO kita, tapi tak ada siapa yang support organisation tersebut. Hiring the right people, buying the right machines, equipments and tools, even basic things like paying salary and rent, right? So we're very happy that Ministry of Finance together with Yayasan Hasanah was able to launch the Hasanah Social Enterprise Fund, which is the first type of fund that 100% supports organizational development of social enterprises. Okay, so that they can grow their organization, and when they succeed, then the impact is a lot more successful. So last year, 4.64 million was approved to 32 social enterprises in the country, scaling up their capability and capacity tremendously. Funds went to upgrading their facilities, investing in machineries, establishing digital platforms, and also hiring talents. We are hoping that we will be able to continue the Hasanah Social Enterprise Fund, because we believe that we need to build the capacity of our social enterprises. So that's 2022. Thank you for your attention. In conclusion, we are confident that 2022 milestones set us up for even more promising future. They are never just the work of a single entity, because of what we humbly again thank all of our 470 plus partners across 609 projects over the 8 years that we've been in existence, who have grown with us alongside Yayasan Hasanah in this impactful journey. So friends of the media, thank you so much for your support. As you can see, there are many micro magical stories. Kalau nak tengok the big story, there's the headline numbers, but so many stories around the challenges in public schools, the challenges of our vulnerable communities, the environment, banyak cerita di situ, dan juga arts and cultural heritage. Choose your passion, and I hope that you can come and support us in telling these stories and amplifying the impacts of these stories a lot more to a larger audience. We can only do so much, but we rely on our media friends to amplify these stories and talk about it a lot more lah. Then together, baru kita boleh achieve the aspirations that we have for the country. We are very humbled to have this opportunity in Yayasan Hasanah to be able to do this. So thank you very much, my team and I, together with Tan Sri Chairman. I really like to thank Tan Sri for making the time to be here. Tan Sri, thank you. And we'll be very happy to take questions if you have. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Dato' Shahira, for that really insightful session. And now we open the floor to questions from members of the media, both joining us physically in this room dan juga kepada yang menonton dari laman virtual Zoom kita.
Assalamualaikum. On behalf of our media friends online, so we have several questions that they have posed to us. So some will be from Sabah and Sarawak figures. So from Sarawak Tribune, they ask from the totality of everything that Hasanah has done, do you have a percentage of how much that has been given to the rural Sabah and Sarawak in particular?
So I have some top line numbers lah. We've not sliced our funding by geography. Minta maaf. We can come back to you. But I know for the Hasanah Social Enterprise Fund, for example, Ivy, you can help me out. But of the 32, I believe 11 out of the 32 organizations were from Sabah, mainly Sabah, and I think 1 or 2 from Sarawak, but mainly Sabah. So that's the Social Enterprise Fund, which is actually, we see Sabah and Sarawak having a very thriving ecosystem and quite hungry for the kind of support that is needed. Funding perspective, I don't think we can give lah, sebab kita track kita punya funding mengikut education, community development, kita ada breakdown. Tapi by geography belum ada ada, but I can say that for community development, education, actually all of our pillars, we are actually very active in Sabah and Sarawak. And in fact, if you saw the video tadi, daripada Sarawak.
13 video tu 6 Sabah Sarawak.
Daripada 13 video yang kita buat, 6 daripada Sabah dan Sarawak. Meaning, kita ada 132 projects. Daripada 132 projek, kita buat 13 video. Daripada 13 video tu, 6 daripada Sabah dan Sarawak. So that I think will reflect our interest and importance in both Peninsula and Sabah and Sarawak. Thank you for the question.
So there are a few couple more before, if we have media who can reply from it. So like for 2023, can you share your plans moving forward, especially in empowering those in the rural as well as the urban area?
So for 2023, we have launched 2 grant cycle sudah ya. So we have just closed our Yayasan Hasanah Grant 2023 cycle in April. Was it April? And we have also opened our Arts Fast Grant yang you tengok tadi tu, dan pun baru tutup. And we are evaluating and reviewing those grants. So of course we have grants that we give in the 5 impact areas. So that's one. So our grant cycle, and inshallah with the approval from Ministry of Finance, we will be launching our Hasanah Special Grant 2023 in June. Subject to approval. So this is another grant that will be opening. So that is the plan for 2023. I also want to say that as a national institution leading social impact work in the country, we are also supporting knowledge and thought leadership in the country in this sector. Jadi kita invest in capacity building and knowledge. And this year, and I'd like to invite our media friends and seek your support. This year, we will be hosting the Asia Venture Philanthropy Global Conference in June 20th to 22nd, together with the Hasanah Forum in this year. So Hasanah Forum we do every 2 years once. So part of the work that we're doing is not just the impact on the ground, but also the advocacy, because we need to bring up the knowledge that we see and the experiences that we see on the ground up to the policy level. So we're hoping that the Hasanah Forum will help us bring up these conversations at the policy level for changes lah. So these are the things that we are expecting in 2023. Expected fund size kita belum lagi boleh announce sebab kita nak tengok how the grants are coming in lah. So last year, like you see, we did 223 million. Perhaps this year would probably be around the same quantum of distribution, inshallah.
Okay, one more. Also from Baharu, so it's like as the WHO has declared the pandemic is over, how is the after effect from the social economic standpoint, especially in the rural areas involving rural as well as the urban group?
So pandemic, post-pandemic ni banyak recovery lah, right? So you saw the program under education, we're doing a lot of catch up for the, supporting students who are coming back after 2 years of less or lack of exposure to education, learning loss. So that's one under education. Quite a lot of the work that we're doing is helping students get back up to speed. So yang sitting for exams, kita ada tuition programs, yang budak-budak standard 1 to standard 3 yang masuk-masuk dah standard 3. We are doing the 3R program as you saw. So education, we are supporting, continuing to support learning recovery. For poverty, as you know, poverty is not just about income. Poverty is multidimensional. So nutrition, access to healthcare, quality of life, and well-being, mental health. So banyak program kita yang tackle this holistic support to the community and the individual. Walaupun kita punya entry point ialah income dan skills, but when we are in the community, we also address other sort of services that are lacking within that community. So if you ask me, a lot of work to be done lah. Lepas pada pandemik ni memang kita banyak melihat keadaan community dan banyak program yang lebih multidimensional lah, bukan saja income.
BH, anything? Ada soalan? Okay, so mungkin Datuk boleh teruskan our busy session today with your aspirations moving forward for 2023 and what you hope to see from the media friends and etc.
Okay, my aspirations. So since I'm addressing the media, inshallah we will continue to do our work and our mandate, which is to support civil society organizations and social enterprises through them to help empower the communities. We will continue to do that in our way, which is high governance, high transparency, where we are also measuring impact in a strong way. But the work that we are doing is not enough without the support of the media. So a lot of the challenges that we face on the ground can be brought up to mainstream and shared through the good stories, and kita kan tak bad news je, but great news as well. Last year, 2021, our tagline was strength in adversity, because when we went down to the ground after the pandemic, we saw the strength of people, how they survive lah, kan. So those are great stories juga. Tapi ada juga cabaran-cabaran kita di environment, climate, pendidikan, kemiskinan dan pembasmian kemiskinan. Banyak challenges yang kita boleh bekerjasama dan war-warkan dengan cara yang konstruktif dan produktif to achieve the impact. Because we will do the work on the ground, but if we don't bring it up to the policy, we may not achieve the impact that we would like to see. So my aspirations for 2023 is for us to work together to have more collaboration with different stakeholders, including the media, to bring up the beautiful stories of Malaysia, but also some of the challenges that we face as a country, as a nation, and how we can work together to solve some of these issues. So that's my that's all I can say. We will continue to give out grants and work with civil society organizations and communities.
And Dato', we have a few more questions from our friends online. Nadia from Bernama Radio is asking, how does Yayasan Hasanah secure the ability to grow and the ongoing efficacy of socially beneficial programs?
That's funding, I suppose that's our funding.
Yeah.
So just for the information, as Tan Sri and Hanis mentioned tadi, we are a foundation of Khazanah Nasional, and in 2015 we were given an endowment, one-off endowment, where Yayasan Hasanah operates from the return of the endowment. So we have sustainability in our funding. We don't need to go out and raise funds. We have fixed amount of fund, which is about 120 million ringgit per annum, that we can commit. And that's why we say we are a long-term impact-based foundation, sebab kita boleh commit. Kalau kita nak masuk sekolah, kita boleh masuk 3 tahun. Kalau kita masuk community, kita boleh 3 ke 5 tahun. Tiger takes time, kan? So I think that is our blessing jugalah as a foundation. We have that capacity and that capability to be long-term contributions. Secondly, we have now started to work with external partners. So as you know, during the pandemic and during all of the national budget and stimulus packages, we have started to work with the Ministry of Finance, who also works with us to flow some of this assistance directly to the communities. So that's how we are more than 120 million ringgit, because we are now managing third-party funds. So we will continue to do that, and that's how we are able to be sustainable and commit to long-term programs and projects in the country.
And thank you, Dr. Chara. And I believe there's one last question, and I believe you've responded to that. Haikal Sinar Plus from Sinar Plus asking, how do you ensure longevity in your support than just one-off support? I believe you've covered that at length. And with that, if we don't have any other questions from the floor, and with that, thank you so much to everyone, Tan Sri, Dato, Aditi and Sherry for gracing us with your presence. And now let's move forward with the photo session.
Thank you to our friends on the media. Thank you so much for all your questions.
And to our media friends joining online, here while we set up for the photo op, we'd just like to share that in the afternoon at 4 p.m. we will be having the launch ceremony in this